A massive Nile crocodile erupts from the murky depths, its jaws snapping shut like a steel trap on the leg of a thirsty lioness. On the dusty plains, a Cape buffalo, weighing nearly 1,000 kilograms, turns its massive horns toward a pack of starving hyenas, refusing to become a meal. This is not a scene from a movie, but the daily reality of the African savanna, a place where the line between life and death is thinner than a blade of parched grass. Before we dive deep into this brutal yet beautiful world, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a journey into the heart of the wild. The African savanna is currently entering its most brutal phase, a time of reckoning known as the dry season. Rain, once a frequent visitor, has completely vanished from the horizon, leaving behind a sky of unrelenting, polished blue. Temperatures soar beyond 40 degrees Celsius, turning the landscape into a shimmering furnace that tests the limits of every living cell. Rivers that once roared with power have shrunk into fragile, stagnant puddles or disappeared entirely into the cracked earth. Life is forced into a relentless test of endurance, where the weak are quickly identified and removed from the equation. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the towering giants of the plains, now competes for the same disappearing resource, which is water. This is the season that decides who continues their lineage and who simply fades into the dust of history. In this scorched environment, the vegetation reveals an ancient and sophisticated intelligence that many humans fail to notice. The acacia trees do not simply wait for death, but instead send their roots dozens of meters deep into the underworld to tap into hidden moisture. Baobabs, the ancient sentinels of the plains, act as living cisterns, storing thousands of liters of water within their massive, cork-like trunks. The grasses of the savanna do not perish when the sun turns cruel. They perform a strategic retreat, drawing their nutrients back into the soil. Leaf shedding and states of deep dormancy become silent survival strategies, encoded through millions of years of evolution. By sacrificing their current outward appearance, these plants ensure their future survival, waiting patiently for the first drop of rain. As the available water collapses in one region, the necessity for movement becomes an absolute life-or-death inevitability. Millions of wildebeest and zebras begin an instinct-driven journey that will span hundreds of kilometers across treacherous terrain. There are no appointed leaders in these massive herds, and they carry no maps to guide their way. They rely entirely on inherited ancestral memory and the faint, elusive scent of rain carried on distant, hot winds. The weak and the injured inevitably fall behind, left to face the predators that follow the migration like shadows. In this massive exodus, survival is collective and depends on the strength of the many, but mercy is a concept that simply does not exist. Among all the inhabitants of this land, the elephants reveal an intelligence that goes far beyond their undeniable brute strength. The matriarchs, some of whom have lived for over 60 years, guide their herds using memories that are decades old. They remember the exact locations of hidden water sources that were last used during droughts that occurred long before the younger calves were born. When the surface rivers finally fail, the elephants use their powerful trunks and tusks to dig deep into the dry riverbeds. By doing so, they release cool, filtered groundwater that sustains not only their own families, but dozens of other species as well. Their daily movements across the landscape actually reshape the entire ecosystem, creating paths and clearings that other animals will use for generations. The arrival of the dry season sharpens the tactical advantage of the great carnivores, who watch the waterholes with hungry eyes. Lions ambush their prey near these shrinking pools, their patience rewarded by the exhaustion and desperation of the herbivores. The pride works as a single, lethal unit, utilizing the cover of the golden grass to get within striking distance before the final, terrifying rush. Cheetahs, meanwhile, rely on their explosive speed in the bright daylight, racing against the clock before larger predators can arrive to steal their hard-earned kills. Hunting in this season becomes something highly efficient, calculated, and entirely unforgiving for those who make a single mistake. As the rivers shrink, they become deadly corridors where the rules of the land no longer apply. Nile crocodiles concentrate in dense, terrifying numbers, appearing like ancient logs floating in the thick, muddy water. These are hunters perfected by millions of years of time, possessing a bite force that can crush the bones of the largest prey. Their attacks are instantaneous and absolute, giving the victim almost no time to react before they are dragged into the dark depth. Even apex predators like leopards and lions become extremely vulnerable when they are forced to cross these narrow, infested channels. On the land, a lion might be king, but beneath the surface of the water, dominance means absolutely nothing. In the wake of the kill, the scavengers arrive to ensure that nothing in this harsh world is ever truly wasted. Hyenas, with their powerful jaws, crush the thick bones that other predators cannot even scratch, extracting the nutrient-rich marrow inside. Vultures descend from the sky in high-speed spirals, stripping the remaining carcasses clean until only white bone remains in the sun. Small insects and billions of bacteria finish the invisible work of decomposition, turning death back into the building blocks of life. The nutrients return to the dry soil, waiting for the cycle to begin again when the environment finally shifts. The entire system cleans itself with a brutal, clinical efficiency that keeps the savanna healthy and vibrant. Eventually, the pressure of the dry season reaches its breaking point, and the heavy sky begins to change its character. Dark, heavy clouds gather on the horizon, flickering with the internal fire of distant lightning. The first drops of rain strike the parched, cracked earth, releasing a sharp, earthy scent that signals the official renewal of the world. Within just a few hours of the first downpour, the brown and grey savanna begins a miraculous transformation into a lush, green paradise. Dry riverbeds suddenly flow with life-giving water once again, and vibrant grass erupts from the soil with incredible speed. Animals of all kinds celebrate instinctively, leaping through the air, calling out to their kin, and beginning the process of breeding. With the water restored and the food supply secured, the frantic pace of the Great Migration begins to slow down. The herbivores settle into the lush valleys and take advantage of the abundance to give birth to the next generation. Insects are the first to appear in massive numbers, followed quickly by migratory birds returning from thousands of kilometers away. Food is suddenly everywhere, and the survival rates for the young calves and foals rise dramatically as the predators find easier targets elsewhere. The land heals itself with remarkable resilience, erasing the scars of the drought as if they had never existed at all. It is a period of rest and growth, where the focus shifts from mere survival to the expansion of life. However, even in the harshest environments, there is one small predator that defies all logic and every rule of the savannah. The honey badger survives through a combination of extreme aggression, physical resilience, and a total lack of fear. Its skin is so thick and loose that it can turn within its own hide to bite an attacker that has already grabbed it. It possesses a natural resistance to the most deadly snake venoms and a relentless drive for digging that unearths prey hidden deep underground. With an unmatched courage that allows it to confront enemies many times its own size, the honey badger walks alone and survives where others would perish. It is a testament to the idea that size is not the only measure of power in the natural world. The massive herds of buffalo often find themselves at the center of the most intense and chaotic battles on the plains. They face disciplined predators like lions and African wild dogs who test their defenses for any sign of weakness or hesitation. During these coordinated assaults, the hunters often win through strategy and stamina, isolating a single individual from the safety of the group. Yet, there are moments when the buffalo herd chooses to fight back, forming a solid wall of muscle and horn that can reverse the roles of predator and prey. Strength, unity, and the timing of a single charge decide every outcome, proving that even the most formidable hunters can be defeated by a united front. Across every corner of the savannah, motherhood becomes the ultimate shield against the dangers of the wild. Warthog mothers rely on their speed and their burrows to protect their vulnerable piglets from the eyes of the leopard. Buffalo mothers form living walls of heavy bodies to encase their calves, daring any predator to try and break through their ranks. Giraffes and elephants use their immense size and powerful kicks to confront the limits of any predator that dares to approach their young. Not all of the young will survive to adulthood, but every mother fights with an instinct that is older than the memories of the oldest matriarch. This primal bond is the engine that drives the continuation of every species, regardless of the cost. The dry season tests the spirit, and the rainy season heals the wounds of the land in an unbroken, ancient cycle. Weakness is systematically removed by the environment, ensuring that only the strongest and most adaptable individuals continue the journey. This rhythm has shaped the continent of Africa for millions of years, creating a system that is simultaneously cruel, fair, and perfectly balanced. Survival here is not necessarily about being the most dominant or the most aggressive creature on the plains. Instead, it is about the ability to adapt to changing circumstances and to find a way forward when the world turns against you. Life on the savannah never truly stops fighting, and beneath the calm waters and the golden grass, danger is always waiting. Every step taken, every breath drawn, and every choice made by an animal matters in the grand scheme of the ecosystem. The savannah endures because every creature, from the smallest ant to the largest elephant, plays its specific and necessary role. This is not a world of random chaos, but a world of profound order, written by the hand of evolution and enforced by the laws of nature. It is a story that has been told for eons and will continue to be repeated long after we are gone. As we look at the lives of these incredible animals, we can find lessons that apply to our own human journey. The dry seasons of our lives, those times of scarcity, struggle, and heat, are what truly define our character and our strength. Just like the acacia tree, we must learn to dig deep into our own inner resources when the surface of our lives feels empty. Like the honey badger, we must find the courage to face challenges that seem much larger than ourselves, relying on our resilience to see us through. Most importantly, we must remember that after every drought, there is a season of rain and renewal waiting on the horizon. What is the most difficult challenge you have ever faced? And how did you find the strength to adapt and overcome it? Do you believe that human society could learn something from the collective survival strategies of the great herds? We would love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments section below, as your perspective enriches our community. We wish you great health, enduring strength, and the wisdom to navigate the changing seasons of your own life. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel to join us for more explorations into the fascinating mechanisms of the natural world.